Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes. Pero magtanong ba rin dati ka PNP?
So this is again the first one is what?
The first one, Mr. President, I move that we consider the budget of the Metropolitan, Baguio City, La Trinidad, Itogon, Sablan, Tuba, and Tublay Development Authority. This must be a long acronym, Mr. President.
All right. Hearing no objection, the budget is considered. Senator Ejercito, you know the pleasure of the body.
Yes, Mr. President, for the record, the recommended new appropriations for the Metropolitan Baguio City, La Trinidad, Itogon, Tuba, and Tublay Development Authority for fiscal year 2026 is 24,663,000 pesos. The recommended new appropriations for Investida under the new Senate version increased by 4,507,000 pesos, or by 22.36%. Mr. President, we are now ready to answer questions if there are any from our colleagues.
Mr. President, just myself, Mr. President, just want to ask, what is the short name of the agency? Ang haba kasi ng acronym na ito.
Investida.
Ano?
MBLISTTDA. So,
Okay.
it's a very long one because it includes Baguio, La Trinidad, Itogon, Tuba, and Tublay development.
I hope it is money being well spent with this, Mr. President. Mr. President, no member wishes to interpolate the measure. I move that we deemed submitted. These budgets are deemed submitted. Mr. President, for Metropolitan, Baguio City, La Trinidad, Itogon, Sablan, Tuba, and Tublay Development Authority.
Any objection? Hearing none, deemed submitted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, ma'am. Sila yan? Sila yan? Oh, you can go now, ma'am. Thank you. Salamat. Ikaw na, Amy. Now we'd like to call, Mr. President, to the session hall, the heads of the Authority of the Freeport Area Bataan, Cagayan Economic Zone Authority, Philippine Center for Economic Development, Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority, Zamboanga City Special Economic Zone Authority, and Southern Philippine Development Authority so that we can tackle their budgets.
All right. The enumerated agencies are hereby, or executive offices are hereby called on. And may we know the sponsor? Who is the sponsor?
The sponsor, Mr. President, maybe we can recognize the sponsor to just read out their budgetary requirements. May we recognize Senator Amy Marcos, Mr.
Senator Amy Marcos is recognized to report the budgetary support of these government corporations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Majority Leader, Mr. President. First, I would like to propose the budget of the AFAB. Sponsoring for fiscal year 2026, the budget for the Authority of the Freeport Area of Bataan, an amount of 250 million as national government support, composed of 150 million national government equity and 100 million subsidy. It's earmarked for the critical infrastructure projects, the 150, and 60 million for the retrofitting and improvement of the dam located in the Freeport area of Bataan, FAB, while the remaining 40 million from the national government subsidy will be used for the road network diversion project. Yun lang po.
Just a request, Mr. President. Mr. President, is the head of the AFAB here with us? May we ask him to stand and rise?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you.
All right. What is the pleasure of the body, Mr.
With
President?
that, Mr. President, no member wishes to interpolate the body of the Authority of the Freeport Area Bataan. I move that we deem considered their budget, Mr. President.
Deemed submitted.
Deemed
Any
submitted, sorry,
objections?
submitted, Mr. President.
Hearing none is deemed submitted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Maybe we can take up the next one, Cagayan Economic Zone Authority.
If the Majority Leader and the President will allow, I rise to sponsor for the proposed fiscal year 2026, the budget of Cagayan Economic Zone Authority, or CEZA. For 2026, we are proposing a budget of 1.095 billion as government equity. The amount to be broken down as follows: repair, rehab, and maintenance of the breakwater Phase 2 678.987 million. CESA Global District Development, a site development effort amounting to 366.244 million, and the construction of CESA Hotel amounting to 50 million. The head of CESA, Katrina Ponce Enrile, already asked for
Please excuse, Mr. President. Yeah.
Yes, I have
to
received
be
the letter.
allowed to be absent.
Yes.
Yes, I received the letter. Thank you.
Yes. And to be fair to Madam Cristina, she was here yesterday with us,
Yes.
but for another purpose. And actually, the timing is, I don't want to say impeccable, but it's uncanny because CESA was the creation of Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. So I believe that we will do him justice, Mr. President, to support its budget. Therefore, Mr. President, without further ado, no member wishes to interpolate the budget of the said authority. I move that we deem submitted the budget of Cagayan Economic Zone Authority.
Any objection? Hearing none, we declare that Cagayan Economic Zone Authority budget is hereby deemed submitted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next budget that we'd like to consider, Mr. President, is the Philippine Center for Economic Development, and recognize Senator Amy Marcos for the
Senator Amy Marcos is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Majority Leader, I rise to sponsor for the proposed fiscal year of 2026, the budget of the Philippine Center for Economic Development, or PCED, proposing an amount of 121,764 million as national government subsidy. 51 million will be used for the rehab of the very old buildings, the installation of fire protection, detection and alarm, as well as the electrical rewiring. Secondly, 58.096 million to support the teaching and research program for the UP School of Economics. And thirdly, the Senate version or our committee report is proposing the amount of 12.5 million requested for the reconstruction of the underground cistern at the Student Activity Center. That is the budget for PCED po.
Majority Leader.
We'd just like to ask if the head of the Philippine Center for Economic Development is with us, please rise. Hi, hello, madam. No. With that, Mr. President, no member wishes to interpolate the measure. Therefore, I move that the budget of the Philippine Center for Economic Development be deemed submitted, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, deemed submitted.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, I move that we consider the budget of Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority and request the sponsor to also give its budget details.
Senator Amy Marcos is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, as well as our Majority Leader. I rise to sponsor the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget of the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority for the amount of 500 million national government subsidy. This subsidy will be allocated to the following infrastructure projects: road rehab of 225 million, installation of shore power at Subic Bay Port of 150 million, improvement of the airport to 75 million, and the installation of the CCTV at the small piers and wharves, 15 million. That's all, sir.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'd just also like to request if the head of the agency is here, please
Be introduced.
stand and be
Yes.
introduced.
Yes, he is. Ed Alina is here po.
Thank you. With that, Mr. President, no member wishes to interpolate the measure. We move that the budget of the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority be deemed submitted, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority budgets hereby deemed submitted.
Mr. President, I move that we consider the budget of the Zamboanga City Special Economic Zone Authority. Yes, so, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration is in order.
May we recognize the sponsor?
Senator Amy Marcos is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Majority Leader. I rise to sponsor for the proposed fiscal year 2026, the budget of Zamboanga City Special Economic Zone Authority. For 2026, the CESA is proposing the amount of 354,651 as national government subsidy, 44 million as subsidy, 310 million as equity. The amounts to be used as follows: proposed 44.651 from the subsidy for the operating expenses, since they are still in the red, 310 million from the national government equity to be used to support ecozone development, broken down as follows: Halal Food Manufacturing Center, which was the query of Senator Padilla, at 115 million, West Corporate Center, 120 million, Sambo Ecozone Highlands amounting to 75 million, an agricultural effort. That will be all, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe also the head of the agency is here. Please, thank you.
Yes, they're all here.
My fellow Mindanaoan. Mr. President, I move that the budget, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that the budget be deemed submitted of Zamboanga City Special Economic Zone Authority.
Any objection? Hearing none. Zamboanga Economic Zone Authority's budget is deemed submitted.
And last but not the least, Mr. President, I move that we consider the budget of the Southern Philippines Development Authority. So, Mr. President, and recognize the sponsor.
Senator Amy Marcos is recognized to sponsor.
Thank you very much, Senate President and Majority Leader. I rise to sponsor the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget of the SPDA Southern Philippines Development Authority for the amount of 158.029 million national government subsidy to be spent first on the general administration and support, specifically for personnel services of 67.775 million, as well as maintenance and operating expenses of 15.254 million. Further, an additional amount of 75 million was requested by SPDA for the survey of land covered by Proclamation 2046, series of 1981, which was added in the Senate version.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I believe the head of SPDA is here also, our colleague from Congress, my dear classmate in 10th, 11th, and 13th Congress, other than former Congressman Salapudin.
Yes.
And also, the head of the AFAB is also, of course, our Senate President Pro Tem. I'm sorry, Senate President himself, Senator Soto, would like to interpolate together with Senator Rafi Tulfo, Senator Bato del Rosa, if he's around, but is he around? Okay, he's not around. Senator Marcoleta, Senator Padilla, and Senator Pangilinan, and of course our Senate President Pro Tem, Senator Lacson.
After mo. Ako na muna.
Yeah.
Hindi na nga eh. Baka-
Hi, Senator, and also Senator Erwin Tulfo. Mr. President, we'd like to recognize the sponsor, Senator J.V. Arcito, to sponsor the measure and of course give details on the budgetary requirements of these agencies.
Yes.
I so move, Mr. President.
Hearing no objection, we now consider the budget of the DILG. And recognize Senator J.B. Arcito to sponsor the measure, sponsor the budget.
Yes, Mr. President, before we start, we'd like to ask a little order in the plenary. As Vice Chairperson of Subcommittee F of the Senate Committee on Finance, this representation is honored to sponsor the proposed 2026 budget of the Department of Interior and Local Government and its attached agencies. The DILG family, headed by Secretary John Vic Rimulya, joins us this afternoon. Mr. President, for the record, the recommended new appropriations for DILG and its attached agencies for fiscal year 2026 is 308,239,334,000 pesos, which is broken down as follows.
There you go.
Number one, Office of the Secretary, 8,549,126,000 pesos. Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, 36,234,156,000 pesos. Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, 31,323,731,000 pesos. Early Childhood Care Council, 356,793,000 pesos. Local Government Academy, 544,847,000 pesos. The National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, 1,166,000,000